What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. Being a young man in them late teens, early 20s can be an exciting time in life. Old enough to be independent, but young enough not to have too much pressure on yourself yet. At that age, everything in life is exciting and fun. Thinking about the future, making plans on becoming successful, making goals, and chasing your dreams. At that point in life, for a lot of young men, only a few things really matter. Having a few dollars in your pockets, not being broke, having a decent female to kick it with, and your bonds with your friends and homies. For young men, that brotherhood is everything. You talk to your friends on a daily, whether bouncing ideas off each other about how y'all gonna make some money, chopping it up, venting, even for advice. Of course, for us that's a little bit older, we understand. A lot of friendships and relationships are for a season and a reason. Most don't last forever, so you learn how to move along, cherish the memories, and look forward in life. But at 20, you can't tell a young man his homies won't be all the same, hanging out on a regular even when they turn 40. Loyalty and trust are great traits to have. When people don't have to worry about you being on no backdoor type of time and can count on you to be there when they need you. And while you might feel like I will never cross my homies, you gotta look around and ask yourself, is that the same case for them? Sometimes we think we really know a person, so we let our guards down and say what they won't do. And trusting the wrong person can be fatal. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Las Vegas, Nevada to discuss the case of a man who linked up with his best friend to make music and things took a crazy turn. Back in 2023, 20-year-old Christopher McCary had a lot to look forward to in life. The young man was stated to be responsible, a go-getter, hard worker, loyal, and loved his family and friends. Originally from Detroit, his mother relocated the family to Vegas when he was just 2 years old. Growing up, Christopher was popular and made a lot of friends. He had younger brothers and sisters who he prided himself in looking out for. Being very close to his mother, who was diagnosed with lupus, he made sure when she was sick, he could manage and take care of the household. Whatever he had to do, from cleaning, even cooking for his siblings. After high school, the young man had many hustles, from designing clothes, even furniture. But his passion was music, listening to it and also making music himself, going to the studio on a regular. His dream was to become an artist. Christopher also found himself locked in with a young lady. Him and his girlfriend had big dreams for the future. He often told her he wanted 4 kids. He wanted to be married and have a nice home. To chase those dreams, even though music was his passion, he worked 2 jobs to help his family out, take care of himself, and be there for his girl. Christopher also had a best friend, another young man he knew since middle school. He was 20-year-old Paul Abercrombie. The two shared a lot of the same interests, especially music. They even called each other twins because they looked so much alike. They knew each other's families and often linked up to kick it as young men do. So when Paul hit Christopher's phone late Saturday night on March 11th, 2023, asking him, like, bro, you want to record? I'm at the crib. Slide through, let's drop some music. Christopher gave it no second thought and told his homie, like, all right, bet. Let me let Mom Dukes know and I'll be on my way. He told his mother, like, Mom, I'll be right back. She showed concern. Already late, going into the next morning, she asked Christopher, y'all can't record tomorrow? in which he stated, "I will be fine, it's just Paul." He kissed her on the cheek and left the house. He headed to Paul's house on 8th Street and the two men started recording. Early that Sunday morning, now March 12th, Paul called his peoples and stated he was high, tripping off mushrooms, and he thinks somebody was trying to rob him. His family member pulled up to his house. They saw blood on the front steps. They opened the door to Paul pointing a gun at them. They noticed he was leaking from his face. It seemed he had been shot. They hesitated before going in. After calming the young man down, they told him he needed to go to the hospital. He was blurting out things and stated, "I killed somebody." But thinking he was just having a breakdown, they drove away without checking the house. When Paul got to the hospital to get treatment, they asked him what happened. And the story he told shocked everybody. He claimed he called his friend Christopher to the house to make music. Paul claimed he was taking mushrooms and he was a little bit high, but he stated he was good, so he thought. But when his best friend pulled up, he became paranoid and felt Christopher, even though he knew him since they were kids, was trying to rob him. He stated he shot and stabbed his homie. When asked how did he get shot in the face, he claimed he didn't remember. Police went to Paul's house to verify the story. They went in to find, unfortunately, it was all true. Christopher had been shot and stabbed multiple times, and unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. Paul was taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit for taking the life of his best friend. When police delivered the devastating news to Christopher's mother, she was devastated. She stated she told him not to leave the house that night. She had a very bad feeling. In a news interview along with Christopher's girlfriend, she explained his relationship with Paul. She described them as best friends. She stated she knew Paul's family, and he stayed the night and ate dinner at her house plenty of nights. She couldn't believe he would do something to her son, who he called his twin brother. Christopher's girlfriend spoke out about their plans for the future, the wedding, the kids, the house that now would never happen. As the case made its way to court, Paul didn't say much, but Christopher's mother told the judge the pain she felt as a mother picking out a suit for her son, and even worse, a casket. She explained how important he was to her and his siblings. His main objective was taking care of his family. Paul would catch a break though, with the judge taking into consideration the young man wasn't in his right state of mind, and the first-degree charge was dropped to second degree. He was found guilty and sentenced to 10 to 25 years in prison. Rest in peace to Christopher. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. He told his mother it's just Paul before leaving the house, not knowing his best friend would be the one to take his life. I get it, Paul was high and under the influence, but if bro was geeking and that paranoid, he probably should have rolled that out alone. I know he probably regrets that night, but he gets a second chance in life. Christopher doesn't. Once Paul comes home, bro shouldn't touch nothing, a blunt, a drink, ever again in life. For a lot of people, they think they can handle the things they indulge in. Pills, grass, drinks. But I know a lot of people who woke up in them holding cells, not knowing what happened because of a substance that tricked their mind. But I want to leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about the situation in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that young man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all tap that like button if you feeling the content. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.